So, sir, did the Office of the President take steps to verify the allegations in the letter?
It's been overtaken by events because the resignation came about.
And sir, just to go on the one whiff you're out policy, isn't this policy also susceptible to being used against the administration? Because, for example, if an enemy of the administration or of that particular official who is doing his job were to send a letter with baseless accusations to get that person out because that official is stepping on their interests, how then would the administration make sure that that doesn't happen given this policy?
You know, you're addressing a matter that only the president can address because he orders the firing of presidential appointees in whom he no longer has trust and confidence. So ultimately, it is the president who decides who continues to have his trust and confidence.
Yes, sir, but it could also be used against him, against people who don't necessarily are actually doing their job, but people are being stepped on, and these people who are the enemies of the administration could be planting such thoughts.
That's a possibility. The president is not an ordinary person. He's a lawyer. He's a criminal lawyer, and he knows the rules of evidence. No? And as I said, the issue is whether or not the president continues to have trust and confidence in a presidential appointee. The
Okay.
case is different if it were a career employee, in which case there must be good reasons, no? Lawful causes for termination, but not those serving at the pleasure of the president.
Okay, Jan Rosales.
Good morning, spokes. Of course, we cannot just keep on telling the riding public to simply trust the Duterte administration in addressing the MRT fiasco. Do we have a deadline or a timeline on when do we expect transportation officials to resolve the problem before heads of officials roll?
Well, I wish I could give you a deadline. All that I can offer you is I can offer once a week to take MRT coming to work, so that I will know well, I have always taken MRT, especially because I always run late. No? But I can do that, so I can complain personally to the MRT people. No? Maybe I'll do that once a week. I'll do that.
Every Wednesday,
No, I prefer every Mondays or every Tuesday. No? But it's very difficult to set a deadline other than I think Secretary Tugade knows that we're looking up to him for a solution. We're crying for a solution, and we're crying for a quick solution. And I'm sure that Secretary Tugade and Yusek Chavez are really taking all the necessary steps. You have to understand this is also a legal quicksand with signed contracts. You see, the rule in obligations and contracts is although you can unilaterally rescind, you do so at the risk of being overruled by the courts.
Sir, follow-up lang. Dun sa usapin naman, sir, nitong traffic gridlock dito sa Metro, sir, do we expect the President to push for the emergency powers?
I think Congress has already heard in both the committee and in plenary. I forget the status in the House, no? But I think the proposed legislation crafted to address the traffic problem is moving in the legislative branch of government, no? And unfortunately, it's a matter of policy. We want to vest the president with additional powers that requires legislation.
And last question on this, sir. Given that ang usapin po dito ay hindi whiff of corruption, katulad ng mga tinanggal nung mga nauna ni President Duterte. Kung halimbawa, sir, mapatunayan na incompetent yung mga transportation official, given yung closeness ni Pangulo with the Transportation Secretary, may chances ba na i-fire niya rin to kung sakaling hindi ma-resolve yun?
I will not speculate po, no? But I think the track record of the president speaks for itself. It does not matter if you're closest to him. If he thinks you should go, you will go.
Sir, on another topic last na, sir, Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Pernia last Thursday said they have already submitted yung foreign investment negative list to President Duterte. May update na po ba tayo rito, sir?
Well, I've not gotten any information on this, but I promise on Thursday I will address this issue. The latest negative list, no, for the year 2018.
For the year
Yes, I will get back to you on that.
Thursday. Thank you.
Okay, on MRT, follow up. On corruption. Ina, then corruption, then Philip. Ina Andulong.
Good morning, sir. Going back to Mr. Santiago, although you've stressed that you never said yesterday that all the information you said were verified, don't you still see anything wrong with the fact that you came out here and announced to the public all these allegations based on a complaint which may be false or based on a fake complaint, considering that you accused this person of having a mistress and being on the receiving a house from a drug lord? Don't you see anything wrong with that, sir?
Well, let me correct you. I did not make the allegation. It was a complaint. And I stand by the fact that the letter complaint exists. And I stand by the fact that even under our anti-graft law, the executive is duty-bound to act even on anonymous complaints. That's the nature of the drive against graft and corruption.
And even without verifying it, it's okay with Malacañang to be announcing all these with the possibility
I never said
they...
that there was no verification. Those were your words.
Okay.
What I said is it's been mooted because the resignation has been accepted.
Okay.
Okay?
Sir, don't you aren't you worried that this might set an example for people who, let's say, might think that I want this government official out, I'll file an anonymous complaint and come up with all these false accusations, and then it may be considered?
Well, this is different because remember, the reason why the resignation was accepted was for a different reason. If at all, maybe what we are stressing is that perhaps there was additional displeasure because of the pendency of the complaint, and I'm not saying it was not acted upon. That's your conclusion. Okay?
Follow up, Joseph Moro.
Sir, yung provenance ng complaint, how did it reach you? How did it reach the palace?
It's in the palace. The letter exists, full stop. Okay?
It was submitted by whom?
The letter exists, it was received, it has a tag of the presidential receiving office. I do not know who received it. That's your question, who it was received by whom?
No,
I do not know.
Who submitted it?
It,
and who
it
received
was submitted because it's officially on file with the office of the president. I do not know who submitted it.
Is there also a complaint na iba yung letterhead and all that stuff?
Nothing. It's an official letter which exists in our files. He was fired because of the reasons stated by the president. These are probably additional grounds by which the president lost his trust and confidence. So please, let's be very clear on that. Okay? And the message is zero tolerance for corruption. Okay? Siguro naman nagre-reverberate na yan sa lahat, no? Pag hindi pa naman nakuha ng taong gobyerno yan, ewan ko na. Okay, next one, please.
Philip Tobesa.
Sir, good morning. Yung sa joint statement last week nung sa meeting ni Presidente and Chinese Premier Li Keqiang,
Okay.
na-mention yung possible cooperation on oil and gas exploration sa West Philippine Sea. Does this mean po na ililift na yung moratorium on oil and gas exploration in that area?
I do not know, but I will go by the literal wordings of the joint statement.
Can you
They,
check, sir? And
let's
then-
just say that both countries are committed to exploring the possibility of joint exploration. That's what the statement says.
Okay. Last
Okay.
questions? Laila Salaveria.
Sir, good morning. If corruption is such a priority for the administration, what has happened to the Anti-Corruption Commission that the President formed last month? Has he appointed officials to this? And when can we expect this commission to get moving?
I'll tell you the truth, I have supposedly somewhere a list of newly appointed officials, and people are following up with me. I do not know where it is. I'm supposed to make it public, no? But I've not received it, but I have gotten confirmation that it was sent. That's why today I have everyone, all my staff, in the backstage, because that's one thing I need to find, no? Because I have had at least 15 inquiries already on recent appointments, particularly to the judiciary and other branches. Well, that's the problem. I haven't even seen it. Okay, so I'm sorry to say that. So let me verify first if there are still no appointees, because when I asked through channels, they said it is in my office. So I called everyone now, they're backstage, and I'm asking, where are the lists of appointees so we can make them public, okay? So let me find out. I do not know, in other words, because I'm still awaiting the list that is supposed to be in my desk, okay?
Okay, last question, Joseph Morong.
60% show that they're willing to help the rehab in Marawi.
That's an affirmation of the bayanihan spirit of the Filipino. 60% is an overwhelming majority. We thank the people for the support that they have shown to the victims of Marawi atrocities.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Totoo na to, last na to ha.
Totoo na, last.
Tricia Macas.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Chief Justice Sereno yesterday warned that an attempt by the allies of President Rodrigo Duterte to impeach her could threaten the country's democracy. She said, I'll just quote her, "This is getting to be larger than myself. This is no longer just about me. It is about democracy." Palace comment, please. Thank you.
Quick response is the impeachment process is a constitutional process. I do not see how a constitutional process ratified by the Filipinos when they ratified the 87 Constitution could constitute a threat to democracy. She's mistaken there. Having said that, we let the process continue. The legislature is a separate branch of government. They have exclusive and original jurisdiction to determine probable cause on impeachment complaints. We trust Congress will do its job.
Okay, thank you, Tricia Macas. Thank you, Malacañang Press Corps. Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Back to our main studio sa
Thank
Radyo
you,
Pilipinas
and see you in Marawi if you're going to Marawi, or MRT on Thursday. Oh, let's do it on Thursday. Okay.
With Joseph
I live in
Morong.
Quezon City, so I will take the Katipunan. I will take Katipunan. Oh, ano oras tayo? Ha? Ang aga namang 6 o'clock yan.
Okay,
Oo, hindi naman
friendly
rush hour
reminder,
yan.
naka-live pa tayo.
Okay.
Naka-live pa tayo.
We'll see you at 9 o'clock at Tipunan Station. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
On Thursday. LRT 2 ba yun? Oo. MRT. Eh, saan naman tayo pupunta sa MRT? Wala naman tayo pupunta sa MRT, papunta Malacañang. Paano tayo makakarating sa press briefing natin kung tayo mag-end to end? Ha? Oh my gosh.
Naka-live pa tayo ha, Joseph.
Baka mataranta.
Sir, naka-live
Can we
pa
just
tayo.
agree on that? Uy, naka-live pa pala tayo, ladies and gentlemen.
Naka-live pa tayo.
Kayo talaga. Hoy,
Okay.
pero wala na, hindi na tayo live.
Live na tayo. Live pa tayo, sir.
Live pa. Patay kang bata ka. Kayo talaga. Well, alam mo naman talaga, I think we need to emphasize that the ordinary Filipino really takes MRT. And I think the DOTR officials.
Okay, thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque.